My name is Sheldon Livesay. I'm the director for Of One Accord Ministry. We're going to tell a story today before Of One Accord Ministry started, but how powerful, intense prayer can be. I used to work with my family. Our family had a flour and feed mill in Rogersville, Tennessee. We had what was called a hammer mill, so farmers could bring ear corn or other corn or wheat that they had grown. They could bring it to the mill. They shoveled it down a chute into the basement where there was this mill that ground it up really fine, blew it up into mixers, and the farmers could add ingredients with it and bag it up, and they would have a custom feed. They added mineral salt, molasses, anything that they wanted into the feed. So anyway, one of the customers that the day that I'm telling about, his name was Clarence Miller. And Clarence had come from Kyle's Ford, that is across a mountain range. It's only 15 miles, but it takes about 30 minutes to get there. So Clarence brought his corn, and he had shoveled that corn down in the chute. I saw that he was over there, but I was going to wait till he came to the office because my job was running the office especially when my parents were gone to eat. So I was in the office. Clarence was over there. One of the men came over and they said, come quick. Clarence has just died in the parking lot. My goodness. I called 911. I ran across the street. I put my hands on Clarence. He didn't seem to be breathing. I didn't know CPR at that time, so I prayed. That's what you do when you don't know what to do. I prayed, and I prayed as loud as I could. The EMS folks got there probably, I'm guessing, just within another minute. They loaded Clarence up. It wasn't looking good. He wasn't responding. And they took him to the emergency room of our hospital just about a half a mile away. So this was probably about 12:15, and I was going to have to wait till a little after 1 o'clock when my parents got back from lunch so that I could go down to the hospital and see what was going on. I knew part of Clarence's family. So I got to the hospital, and sure enough, they had had time to come across the mountain. They had come from several places in the neighboring county, which was Hancock County, and they were in the emergency room, of course, in the waiting room, very, very concerned about their dad, concerned about what was going on. One of those couples was a pastor that's a very good friend of mine, Alonzo and Margaret Collins. One of those families, another family was a son of theirs that was a pastor, and his wife. And so all of them were in there, and I just had a thought. I felt like it was a leading of the Lord, but I went to some of the family and I said, I know they're working on him. We can't go in and see him right now. It could be the very best thing that we could do is there's a little chapel here. Let's go in the chapel and pray. And we went in the chapel, and I'm telling you, those folks got down on their knees with their elbows up, just weeping and sobbing about their daddy, Clarence, that was being worked on. We prayed, I'm guessing, 15 to 20 minutes. And we opened the door. We got up, opened the door to go out, and a nurse was standing there, and she was smiling. And she said, boy, I'm glad you hadn't finished praying when I came here about 15 minutes ago. And they said, well, why is that? And said, because your dad died. He died, and we tried everything to resuscitate him, and we couldn't. And we just unhooked him from stuff, and I came to tell you that. But I heard you were praying. I heard you were loudly praying. And I went back in, and we were getting ready for y'all to come out to be able to tell you. And 7 minutes, with no heartbeat, no anything, the monitor started coming up, and your dad came back to life. That's exactly how that nurse put it. Your dad came back to life. I'm telling you what. We prayed loudly, and those folks sobbed in the chairs that they were propped up on. That was one of the most intense prayer times that I've been a part of in a long time. But Clarence not only recovered, but God gave him back to his family for another 7 years. I thought it was significant. It was 7 years. And I want to tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that sometimes when you don't have a hope of anything else working, prayer is the very best thing. Thank you for letting me share with you today. God bless you, and you have a great day.